guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am on my second account and we are working towards this Fabian fusion. I say working towards because we are partway through this event and I don't have a lot of time here. Looking at this, you can see I don't have a lot of time. I have 3 hours left to actually do these summons, and this is something I have kind of been putting off a little bit until now, trying to decide what I actually wanted to summon, because there's 2 ways you can go about this, right? You have to summon at least for the rare if you're going for the fusion. Regardless, I need 3,500 points. Or I can keep going until I have 6,100 points to get the epic. Keep in mind, if you get the epic, you get to skip some events because it's a lot less rares you actually need to collect. But regardless, I know that that is what I at least need to get. Here's the thing though, guys. I would say I didn't prep as much. And what I mean when I say that is just that this is my first big fusion like this in the game. It's my first anniversary in the game. And I've been pulling a lot of shards. So I haven't necessarily saved enough sacred shards. I would say to be like prepared, I would have already had the amount of sacred shards I needed to get like 6,100 points. Like having enough for that, I would have been content and I would have been good. But now, obviously that is not the case. That is not what we're working with. Instead, I have a variety of shards. But I don't really want to dip into all of the shards. So I could summon my ancient shards, but I don't really want to. So I have decided I am going to only go for the rare. That's right. We're only going to do the rare, and I will just continue through with the other events that they have going on, because there is going to be a number of events upcoming. I've looked at the calendar. I'm pretty confident I can do them. I just have to make sure I don't miss them, so I'm able to actually get everything I need from this rare. But this is what we're aiming for, so 3,500 points. There's a few different ways I'm actually going to go about this. So number 1 is I will be using all of my mystery shards. This is probably what's going to be the most time consuming, is actually pulling these mystery shards, feeding them, pulling and feeding and pulling and feeding. That's going to take a while. I'm not going to do that on camera for you guys. Don't worry. That's in my own time. After all this, I will make sure I get that done. But instead, we are going to go ahead, pull my sacred shards, and then I will pull a couple of the void shards. I've already put in the champs that I'm looking for in here, so hopefully the shards go in our favor. I'm going to go ahead and start with the sacred shards. So I do have 3 of them. There is the progressive chance going on, and there's a few different champs you can actually pick out of here, a few different options. So out of the epics, I am going for Teguar, and that is simply because I already have these other 2. So although it doesn't hurt to get more of them, I would like to at least, I don't know, add to my collection of champions. So of course we're going to put him in here. And then in terms of the legendary, there are a few different options in here. Honestly, they all have their different uses. They're all good. But I am going to admit, like, I have had my eye on this one for a while. So this is the one that I've actually gone ahead and put into what I'm hoping to get. However, with the amount of shards I have in the progressive, really not holding my breath on this. This is just filled out for the sake of at least having it filled out in case we do manage to, I don't know, like pull one of them and get super lucky. All right, 3 sacred shards. Do not let me down, shards. We'll see. If we can walk away from this actually with a legendary, that'd be really nice, because then it's like the game has forced me to summon and pull. So we'll see. I am going to look at the skills, I think, afterwards once I'm actually done pulling. So for now, we'll just pull the shards and then I will look at the champions and see what we actually got. So epic. It's okay. I think, honestly, both of them so far have been new for this account. One more. Let's go. Come on, sacred. Ledge. No, see? And it was an epic. But again, I think they're epics that I did not have. So that is something I will have to look into. But I said 3 sacred shards, and I'm going to do 8 void shards, because I don't need to do them all. I'll be good with the mystery shards. So out of these ones, also a few different options that we could go with the champions. Now, you already know I had to go with Godseeker Iniri here. And then for the other ones, definitely, like I said, you got options in here. But I think out of all of them, this is the one I was most excited for. Again, 8 shards, really not holding my breath here. Like, but Godseeker Iniri, definitely one I have my eye on. And then I actually do already have Cardinal, so that was an easy choice here. But we're going to go in 8 shards. And see, I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky with it. Maybe it will give me a void legendary. That would be incredible, but that's okay. We'll take maybe some good epics as well. Or how nice would it be if actually pulling any of these shards, if you actually pull something you need for the fusion? That would be ideal. Have you guys done that? Did you manage to pull anyone that you needed for the fusion from shards? super lucky, I think, if you do. That would just save you. Like, that saves you an entire event if you think about it that way. Hey, Bellower. I definitely have him on this account. I probably have more than one of Bellower, but always be happy to see him. And Painkeeper. Okay, so these are some quality rare voids that we're getting. They're good ones. Hey, an epic. Hey, God Secret Theory. Let's go. Well, I wanted her, and Rain was like, okay, we hear you, Cece. We hear you. All right, let's go in with my last two that I actually want to pull from here. And then, as I said, we will go and take a look at what I actually got, a little bit of a review on the skills, and then I'll show you guys where I am at with all these epics. That is the last one I want to pull from here. And you know what? Walking with Godseeker Aniri, I am actually really happy about that. We need to go ahead and take a look at the champs I actually got today. So of course I want to start with Godseeker Aniri. Quick reviews on her. I mean, she is a good one. I'm glad they had her in there for the progressive, for those that really wanted her. Me being included. However, I just managed to pull her, which was great. Now, just all around a very good supportive healing unit. First skill, it's going to heal the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of their max HP. Second skill is going to attack all enemies, heal all allies by 15% of their max HP, and decrease the duration of all buffs on all enemies by a turn, while increasing the duration of all buffs on allies by a turn. So that alone right there, you're decreasing, you're increasing buffs, you're really helping out your team. But of course, we also have a revive in here. So revives a dead ally with 50% HP and fills their turn meter by 50% and resets the cooldown on all their skills. I think that's the biggest thing with this skill, is the resetting the cooldown on all their skills, because you can use that very, very strategically. And if you book her, you get this down to a 4-turn cooldown, which is amazing. And like I said, kind of having the heals in there, you have the AoE in the first skill, but then we do also have this kind of passive active. So passively increases the amount of healing allies receive by 10%. So you're really keeping your team healed up here. And then the active effect, if an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, it will have that revive on death buff on them for a turn before the damage is taken. So another very, very helpful skill, and one of the reasons that she is so good. Next up, the ones that I'm maybe not as familiar with. So Aishma, I've said this before. I think I said this on my other account when I pulled her. I think, now that I'm saying the name out loud, I'm trying to learn how to say some of the names. So one of the ones that is like, could be useful for sure. So first skill, attacking an enemy 2 times, having a 20% chance of placing a poison debuff. I have a lot of champions that actually do poison. However, they can work really well together too. Second skill, attacking all enemies and having that chance of placing a weaken debuff for 2 turns. Third skill, attacking an enemy, a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs on the target by a turn, and a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by a turn. So really nice. And then passive skill heals this champion 3% of their max HP whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff. As I said, I have a lot of champs that do poison, but if I can actually pair her up with them, then, you know, we can get something going in there. And then we had Adriel in here as well. So the 21% in all battles is nice, but it is only magic. Actually, this is the first time I've seen an aura like this that I've noticed on any of my champions. That's interesting. First skill, attacking an enemy, 21% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Heals all allies by 20%. We have heals all around, apparently, in what we pulled today, by 20% of their max HP, and places 30% reflect damage buff on them for 2 turns. Third skill, attacking all enemies, 50% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. 100% chance if the attack is critical. Not one I'm going to run to build, because I feel like this is one of the ones that you would want to crit, ideally, in order to actually land this to 100%. But then you also want to be able to build her tanky enough, having enough HP in there. Like I said, I will always take new. She is a champion that I currently don't have. And last but not least, we also got Stagnite. So with him, looks like, oh, all around we're seeing some green, some reviews. And I love how you guys will tell me in the comments and let me know, like, oh no, Cece, this epic is actually really good. This is where you can use them. I appreciate all that advice so much. You guys are amazing. So looking at the first skill here, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. It's the same. I feel like I'm 30%. Okay, I was like, it's ascended. What's the difference? The 30% debuff for 2 turns for the first skill. Ascended. Second skill attacks all enemies. 70% chance of placing 60% decrease defense debuff and a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Third skill, placing a 50% increase accuracy buff on an ally for 1 turn each time the ally has a debuff resisted by an enemy. Oh, that's kind of an interesting passive. Okay, I could see how this could be a good like support for the rest of your team and how he could potentially work. Again, I have tons and tons of champions I'm working on and building, so probably not going to be like front of my line to actually build. But again, I'm totally cool walking away with some new stuff and very, very happy with getting Godseeker Aniri. That is it for all the shards that I actually wanted to do on camera and show you guys. Wish me luck as I finish the rest of it with the mystery shards. I do want to hear what you guys ended up doing though. Did you just grab the rare? Did you do the epic as well? Did you have to go in with any mystery shards you had as well? I would love to hear your experience and how you handled this summon rush. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1. And then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. Now that you've downloaded using my link, you want to make sure that you are entering a new player code. You do have to enter this within 72 hours of actually downloading the game. The code that I suggest using is Monkey King. This is going to get you Sun Wukong, who is a legendary champion who is very good, but only here for a limited time. So you're going to want to make sure that you claim that. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, including my journey trying to get Fabian. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Next level.